Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to welcome you all to the Medusa X Talks, organized by the Electronics and Computer Science Club of University of Kelaniya. This session is a key awareness event leading up to Medusa 2.0, our inter-university Capture the Flag competition. As our flagship cybersecurity event, Medusa allows students from all universities to test and develop their hacking skills while fostering innovation, teamwork, and learning. This year's competition built on the remarkable success of Medusa 1.0, our inaugural event held in late 2024 attracted over 400 participants from more than 15 universities and featured classic capture the flag categories. For Medusa 2.0, we are expanding significantly beyond those classic categories to reflect the newest trends in cybersecurity world. Today, we have the privilege of hearing from an expert in the cybersecurity field. From HashX, the official CTF platform partner for Medusa 2.0, he has a deep experience in capture the flag challenges. Please join me in warmly welcoming Mr. Nathaneal Meththananda as he shares his expertise on adversarial tradecraft in cybersecurity and capture the flag challenges. He will be sharing his valuable insights on real world cyber defense and awareness, helping us get ready for the exciting challenges ahead in cybersecurity and CTFs. Over to you, Mr. Nathaniel.
And meanwhile, I want this session to be kind of interactive. So you can stop me and ask any sort of questions. And first of all, I'm audible, right? Am I audible? And can you all see the screen? Can someone? Okay, I will check. Okay, cool. All right, so today I really want to talk about adversarial tradecraft in cybersecurity, which means how nation state hackers, or in your words, Russian hackers, Chinese hackers, work, and how they basically develop new attack vectors to compromise targets. And these attacks come into handy where it identifies vulnerabilities or create exploits to exploit a vulnerability, and then define new attack vectors to inject into the target. So that is basically what adversarial tradecraft in cybersecurity. Give me a second. So when it comes to nation state hackers, remember that they are also humans, right? I think my machine is low. Okay. So when it comes to nation state hackers, you need to understand that they are also humans and not any sort of aliens where they identify various ways to exploit a target, right? Most of the people or adversaries work as software companies. They use Jira, GitHub, cloud services such as DigitalOcean, AWS to create their uh, hacking infrastructure, right? So it says these adversaries operate like typical software company. There are software engineers and project management managers who use applications such as Jira, GitHub, cloud services to maintain their development and operations. And also, uh, these guys are well funded by the government or by when it comes to Russia, hackers are funded by mafia bosses. I'm sure that you know who is a mafia boss. Uh, it's basically these people, I mean, cybercrime hackers and nation state hackers, their main motive is money. And there's another type of hackers called script kiddies. They just do it for fun, and they are not a part of nation state hackers or anything. They just use off the shelf tools and try to attack a target. So, but in this case, nation state hackers, they operate as software companies. They have managers, they have people who collaborate, they have HR department, right? So it's uh, very exciting to understand and get to know about how these adversaries behave. So I hope you guys know that in each ethical hacking phase or red teaming, the first uh, step is reconnaissance, right? So when it comes to nation state hackers, they conduct reconnaissance, but not like typical pen testers or red teamers. These nation state hackers conducts reconnaissance operations for months. So basically, if I say reconnaissance takes around 8 months and exploitation takes only one to 15 minutes, right? So basically, reconnaissance takes they have to understand who is the target, what kind of defense layers they are using, right? What kind of people are there, how to get into the network, what kind of Wi-Fi access points they are using. So it goes a lot deeper and analysis on reconnaissance so that they know the attack surface of the target, right? They also conduct threat modeling. So threat modeling is called how to explain. So threat modeling is basically we identify typical vulnerabilities on publicly available uh, assets, right? And according to that, we conduct a threat modeling. I mean, nation state hackers conduct threat modeling. They conduct OSINT, they conduct reconnaissance, they conduct enumeration, right? So it takes months. But when it comes to the real exploitation or the real hack, it only takes maximum 30 minutes. Maximum 30 minutes. And then from after exploitation, they conduct defense evasion, they uh, they pivot into the network, they try to steal data, they conduct port forwarding, right? Now when it comes to CTFs as well, you need to use the same techniques, right? So now you can use a tool called socket for port forwarding. Like I'm just giving you an example, right? So something like that, you need to understand how these people or the nation state hackers uh, operate. Do you all have any questions up to now, or any curious ways you need to understand or clarify? Right. So there is a framework called MITRE attack. Okay. So this framework basically helps defense analyst or SOC analyst to identify or map the attack vectors nation state hackers are conducting. Now let's say now this is also called TTPs or tactic, techniques and procedures. Right. So this initial access, execution, persistence, those are tactics, and these are techniques, right? Replication through removal media, drive by compromise. These are attack vectors, right? Techniques. And when you click one of these initial access techniques, you get the procedure. You get how they do it, right? If you just Google MITRE attack framework, you can understand or go through the framework. And if you know how to map a threat actor or their TTPs, you can try it out. Right. So up to now, do you all have any questions? My browser is slow, kind of. So up to now, do you all have any questions? I mean, like how these people are operating, and now we'll be going through how people or the nation hackers are using generative AI, right? Uh, so I recently built a rack system, okay, a retrieval augmented generation generator for malware development and offensive security, right? So using this rack I built, it's only for AI research purposes, but the reason I built this is to so that you get to know how these nation state hackers use uh, AI techniques to conduct exploit and malware development, right? So it says for security and AI research purposes, we built a complete rack for offensive security, which allows ethical hackers to build offensive tools and malware. Now, when it comes to the part of law, what I did was wrong. So, but it comes to these nation state hackers, they don't care about the law. They just push everything they have, and they develop solutions. They develop exploits. They develop uh, various command and control servers. Now we'll be going through the command and control servers in the next few slides, but it's very now the AI part is very famous all over the world, right? Everyone is into AI, and whatever solution you build, how they market is okay. We have AI in this, so same thing. Nation state hackers, they also have competitions. Now Chinese hackers have different kind of nation state hackers. I think around if I'm correct, 33 nation state hacker groups in China. So internally they have competitions, so they try to compete each other to develop the best attack vectors, to develop the best exploits to hack into targets, right? So this is all about how nation state hackers behavior analysis work, right? Who has used command and control servers famously? Now this thing is called Cobalt Strike, which I use personally. uh, there are open source C tools as well, such as Havoc. uh, so how many of y'all have used a C tool? And there's an open source one called Sliver. Can someone unmute and talk, like what is your experience in C tools? Because this is a very key part in cyber operations, because that's where all the hacked targets are connected to, so you can manage it from a centralized server, right? So if I mean anyone can just unmute yourself and just explain your experience in using of C tools, because I told you I want this to be interactive and I want you guys to get something out of this. Can someone say anyone has used? There's no right or wrong answer. You can just no one. Okay, so C2 or command and control server, it is a centralized platform to control all the beacons or targets which were sent to the targets to conduct post exploitation. So beacons is something like, I would say, uh, the payload. Yeah. So the payload we are sending to the target, and after exploitation, after exploiting the vulnerability, it gives you a connection back to the C2 server to conduct post exploitation, right? So these post exploitation techniques can be done such as pivoting, like as I said earlier, port forwarding. You get all the internal web applications running to your local host. You can do that, right? And then after that you can conduct web application security assessments and hack into their internal. So this is how the procedure works, right? So I'm not going to go that deep, but I just want to give you that small insight on how these people behave or operate. So, okay, now comes what is cyber threat intelligence. So now you have a now. I hope you guys have a somewhat idea on how nation state hackers work or behave or operate, right? So, but as cybersecurity professionals or defense analysts or SOC analysts, CTI or cyber threat intelligence is the key field to understand and track this nation state hackers. So basically what I'm saying is there are solutions such as Shodan, right? There are solutions such as Census, FOFA, right? There are open solutions you can use to track hackers, right? That is where cyber threat intelligence comes, right? So CTI is all about converting raw collected data into actionable intelligence. Now, what do you mean by raw collected data? So raw collected data are mainly IP addresses, hashes, right? Uh, User agents which the hackers use, etc. So these people are or defense analysts or SOC analysts can use these raw collected data into actionable intelligence, right? So CTI is all about converting raw collected data, right? And the collected data you get, you convert into actionable intelligence. Actionable intelligence means, okay, which TTP or which tactic, techniques, and procedures they have used, right? That is called intelligence, from raw data to intelligence, right? So CTI is very important as cybersecurity professionals to understand how these threat actors work, right? So as I said earlier on my second slide, they conduct reconnaissance for 8 to 1 year reconnaissance, and then the exploitation is done within 1 to 30 minutes. And after collecting, the beacons or payloads connect to the C2 or command and control server. And after connecting to the C2, the hackers can conduct post exploitation. So this is basically the workflow, right? And as defense analysts, you need to start from behind. What do you mean by behind? So uh, if the hacker is starting from reconnaissance, defense analysts should start from the target which the hackers hacked, and from that you can track back, or we call it breadcrumbs. Pan kudu, but in the industry we call it breadcrumbs. You can track breadcrumbs of the attacker, right? So the defense analyst can break pieces of how nation state hackers operate, and then according to that they can come to a decision on how to respond to the attack. Or there's a field called incident response in cybersecurity, right? So this incident response field is a very critical and very advanced pathway. But even though if you want to go to incident response, you need to be sure that you are good at cyber threat intelligence, right? Any questions up to now? Oh, I think I covered this as well. Okay, never mind. So here I just have to add is okay, I have just heard something where you need to understand the whole history of the cybercrime hacker or the cyber threat actor, right? It's all about the history of the attacker, the mistakes they make. From the mistakes they make, you can actually track a adversary. Now let's say the FBI, the CIA, NSA. In UK, we have MI6, we have GCHQ, right? These people uh, are basically tracking down adversaries. They understand, they collect raw data, they convert into actionable intelligence, and then they identify the mistakes of the attackers, and they go through the breadcrumbs and they find who hacked the specific target, right? And that is why CTI, or cyber threat intelligence, is very important as cybersecurity professionals. Now, in order to track threat actors or nation state hackers, there is a model or framework called diamond model, right? Now, if you just see this, now this is in the shape of a diamond, right? And this has endpoints. So this first endpoint has adversary, capability, victim, and infrastructure. Okay. So where can we start this? So as defense analyst, you need to always start from the victim or the target which the nation state hackers hacked. Okay. From that, you identify IOCs or indicators of compromise, right? And they and then from the IOCs or the raw data, you understand the capabilities of threat actors, right? They understand the capabilities of the threat actor, and then this capability goes to the infrastructure or the now in this case nation state hackers infrastructure is C2 or the command and control server, and there are things called redirectors. uh, they use load balancers, CDNs, Cloudflare, etc. They use all these tools, and also it goes back to everything. First thing, they are also humans. They work as a software company, right? It's very easy to understand, but it's more, it's not technical, it's like all strategic thinking, right? So again, so yeah, as defense analyst or SOC analyst, start from the victim, you go to the capability, you understand the capability, and then you identify there's a malware, and these after malware you can reverse engineer the malware, right? And after reverse engineering the malware, you can identify IP addresses, you can identify user agents, I what do you call it, domains, right? And these one of these domains can be the domain for the C2, which means the infrastructure, right? And this infrastructure, after identifying the infrastructure, these infrastructures can be identified using Shodan or Census, right, or FOFA. And these infrastructure can be identified, and then you can track back to the adversary. I'm not saying this is very easy to track back the adversary or anything. It takes, I don't know, with my experience, it takes around 4 to 6 months to track just a single adversary. It's very hard because they use OPSEC, operational security. So this operational security means they do not, I mean, they least give out internal data of the hacker group, right? So what do you mean by that? So OPSEC is operational security. So this operational security is basically you have to cover, or as a nation state hacker or a hacker, you need to cover up all the details which you can be a target, or where the defense analyst can track you back, right? Now these adversaries are using OPSEC, so that's why it takes months to track these adversaries, right? So yeah, so any questions? I mean, it's the question and answer session right now. I mean, do y'all did y'all understand, or did y'all learn something from this? You can just unmute and talk, please. Is Kavita here? Hello. uh, can I coordinate a talk if possible? Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. So I mean, anyone can ask questions, and we can discuss about how these people are working, operators are working, and if I have anything, just please ask me. And also, meanwhile, y'all can hear me, right? So yeah, so this is basically the end of my presentation. Uh, is if there's anything to ask, discuss, you all can uh, ask, unmute and ask. No questions? Yeah, I can send the slide. I'll send the slide through Kavidu because that's the only contact I have. So yeah. Are there any tools for threat intelligence? Yes. So there are tools. As I said, Shodan is there, right? Census is there. 4.5 is there. I can even show you Shodan. So this is one of the main tools I use for cyber threat intelligence, and there's another tool called Census that is paid, but FOFA is FOFA, FOFA. It's free. You can use that to understand the DNS records the hackers have used, what are the cloud services they have used, etc. Now, if I just type country, okay, I think. So these are all exposed servers, right? Mostly it's SLT. So you can just click on one of these IP addresses. Now here this tool can be used when you identify a specific IP address or a specific domain. Now let's say you identified a IP address called one.
We can't see the screen.
You can't see the
Can you share
screen.
the screen? Yeah.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. What about now? Can you see?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I just typed Sri Lanka just in case. Okay. So most of them are SLT servers or FTP servers, SSH servers, and there are you can config by these are switches, right? BK is RRG, right? You can identify these people or people who what do you call it? You config the PMA servers or switches, right? So you can use Shodan in order to when you now as I said, you first collect the raw data, or the victim, and you identify indicators of compromise, which are IP address, hashes, etc. Now let's say you identify that IP address called 185 12.1 11.11 11.1, something like that. So you can just type the IP address and get this is, I don't think this exists even, I just typed. But if you find an IP address in a malware after reverse engineering and enter the IP address here, you will get all the records, right? Cool. Any other questions? Any other questions? Should be master for an entry level salary user. Okay, it depends on your skill set. Let's say you want to be a SOC analyst or a pen tester, whatever, offensive or defensive. First thing I would do is, if you want to become a pen tester, go through the hack the box CTFs. Understand how these exploitations are done, right? And when it comes to defensive, you have to understand the technologies behind defensive, like SIEM solutions are there. There's Splunk, there's CrowdStrike, Falcon, and etc. But you can start small, start from I would say digital forensics. There are challenges in TryHackMe. I hope everyone knows about TryHackMe. So TryHackMe is there, Hack the Box is there. Play almost all the CTFs. That's why we are also telling you all to play CTFs, is because you can create the mindset of a hacker using CTFs. I learned from CTFs, right? So I started when I was 12 years. So I started when I was 12, and then from 12 I started playing CTFs, and then etc. And I kept on going. There's a question. This question is out of today's topic, but can you give some tips on CTFs, a step-by-step roadmap to follow? Okay, I mean, well, CTFs. If I was recommending you, you can try. How do I try? So first thing, you need to learn how to navigate through the Linux system, right? You need to learn how the Linux file management works, how to operate, how to do anything in Linux. Be comfortable in Linux. So my machine is not Windows, it's Linux. So you need to be very fluent in Linux. Okay, first thing. Second thing is you need to understand networking, how a network works, OSI model, TCP handshake, three-way handshake, etc. And you can then, after that, you can go through TryHackMe CTFs. Now there are beginner parts. Okay, I would recommend you TryHackMe rather than Hack the Box, because it's very beginner oriented, right? So please, you can just try out TryHackMe, and if you really want a full roadmap, just contact me. I'll help you with that. Or if you're coming to the CTF, you can just come and talk to me. I'll be there. And it's all about experience and research base. Right. Any other questions? You can ask anything. I have questions. Can we have a contact, please? I mean, I can give you, but don't spam me. You can just drop me a WhatsApp message to this number. I really want to show you all that something very unique in Sri Lanka. Let me just share the screen. Is there anyone who is interested in AI security? Can you see the screen? Right. So this is the AI hacker, right? AI pen tester. It's all about reasoning models and how. So this is first time in Asia we are building it. You can identify any sort of vulnerabilities. You can this thing can solve any sort of CTFs, right? So starting from now, when you go to Redis SSRF. So SSRF is a server-side request forgery, right? And this AI pen tester gives you a vulnerability report. Now this is a pen test done for a banking system, right? So she says blind SSR with Redis command execution via Gopher protocol. So this is just an inside jargon give you where we are building Sri Lanka's first pen test, and it's very interesting. If y'all wanna learn more about this, you can just contact me, and yeah. So there are multiple RCs, SQL injection attack, no SQL injection attacks. So this is how it thinks. It's since this takes a lot of machine power. Anyway, so this is basically you can just follow me in LinkedIn and you can get some updates on this solution we are building. Right? So do y'all have any other questions? Do y'all have any other questions? If no, we can conclude it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nathaniel, for that inspiring and insightful session. We truly appreciate the time and effort you have taken to share your knowledge and experience with us. Uh, we hope today's talk has motivated all participants and strengthened your readiness for Medusa 2.0 and beyond. Before we wrap up, we'd like to invite everyone to turn on your cameras for a quick group photo. We provided a virtual background. You can use it. Can you? Uh, we provided a virtual background. You can use it. Thank you once again to our guest speaker, organizing team, and all participants for joining us today. Until we meet again at the competition, stay sharp, stay secure, and keep hacking ethically. Good night, everyone. Let's end the meeting. Thank you.